I could frame this two ways. I could say, well, Mark, Bitcoin is down $30,000 since its April high. Or I could say, Mark, we're still up 10,000 from where they were in the middle of December. What do you see as the longer term trend for Bitcoin?
Yeah, Brian, you're exactly right. It is all about perspective and zooming out. If you think about the long-term trend, which is exactly the right place to look, we're still in a very positive set of circumstances. You have fundamentals that are improving. The use cases for crypto broadly and Bitcoin specifically are rising. We've seen a country make Bitcoin a legal tender, an actual currency. I think that trend will continue. And I think this idea of a global borderless, which is perfect for this show, talking to the world. I love your opening. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It really is not just about the United States, it's about global. So global activity in Bitcoin broadly is continuing to rise. Although there are pockets of concern, the China ban on miners, they'll pop up in other places around the world. But this idea of a borderless asset, I think, is really powerful for the world.
Yeah, and in fact, our next guest in the next segment, Mark, is going to talk about China's crackdown on big technology companies as well. It has not just been crypto. You've had that. You've had some liquidity issues. You've probably had some people buying some of the cryptos, not just Bitcoin, on margin as well. Perhaps all of this shaking out to be the perfect storm. I don't like all these terms, laser eyes and paper hands, but if I was going to use them, I would say, is right now where the paper hands, the weak holders, by the way, are they the ones being shaken out? Do you see sort of that getting flushed out of the system for a better fall and winter?
Yeah, it's again a really important point. Great insights there on exactly what happened over the last couple months as we had a global ebbing of this just huge tidal wave of liquidity. Global M2 growth has slowed over the last couple months. And what you had is like you have in all speculative phases of markets, which we had after the just massive liquidity printed by global central banks around the world in response to the lockdowns. That money flowed into lots of assets, including crypto assets and Bitcoin and others. And unfortunately, a lot of people, I would categorize them as the paper hands you described, bought not just the asset, but bought on massive leverage, up to 100 times leverage. And it's very, very healthy for those accounts to get shut down. Over a couple million accounts got closed in April and May. And I think that's very healthy. In fact, last time you and I were together on this show at this time in the morning, we were talking about Doge, right? And I said it was one of the problems with the markets broadly. It was everything that was wrong with the markets. And it's down about twice as much percentage terms as Bitcoin. I mean, not twice, about 1.5 times as much as Bitcoin. And I think that's a good example of getting back to healthy and getting assets allocated back to the healthier projects.
And there's so much going on under the hood as well, Mark, and I don't want to get too much into the weeds, especially not at, like 5:09 or whatever it is in the morning, which is, we talked about Ethereum a few weeks ago going from proof of work to proof of stake. You've got concerns over energy usage in miners. Everybody wants to trade these cryptos the same way. They are extremely different. An EOS and an Ether and a Tether and a Bitcoin, they're similar in some ways, but they're very different in others. Are there any others you're watching more specifically, maybe not investing in, but watching as an indicator besides BTC?
Yeah, I know that, again, really important. If you think about what these are, right? These are protocols. They are protocols which are building out the Internet of Value or Web 3.0. And just like the Internet, where we started with 80 protocols, and now we have 5. We have TCP/IP, we have HTTP, we have SMTP, we have FTP for files, and we have www. This ties everything together. The same thing is happening in all of these protocols in the crypto stack. And we have Bitcoin at the base layer. I think we'll probably have Filecoin to replace FTP. Maybe we get Polkadot or Cosmos as one of those other primary layers. And then we have Ethereum as the www dot as kind of the thing that ties everything together in the web. All the other coins that people look at are utility tokens. They're not really cryptocurrencies. They don't have a claim on cash flows. They don't have a claim on equity. And they are speculative venture capital projects. The vast majority, 98, 99% of them, go to zero, literally go to zero. But the 1 or 2% that survive will be amazing projects. Now, you have to be really strong technically to understand them, and you have to really dive into them thinking that they are venture capital investments, not speculative day trading currencies.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.